Hello everybody and welcome back to DDLC Return from the Portrait. It's me Mark and today we are continuing from where we left off yesterday, which was Easter. So anyways, for those of you who didn't come to the last episode and see what happened there, I'm going to recap a bit. So, first off, this mod is kind of a weird variation of the original Doki Doki Literature Club's gimmick where editing the files is pretty much like a necessary part of the plot. So what happened last time is that we met Natsuki's dad after this really weird cataclysm happened in universe. He came from that world of Yuri's book called The Portrait of Markov, and we met another character from that book actually too, and her name was Linda. And right now we've decided that in order for all the suffering to stop, all the bad things that happened in the original game to stop, we need to stop the game's script. We need to disable it. How we're gonna do that, I hope we'll find out in this episode. So anyways, let's get to it. We head to my house for the time being. Monica, Sayori, and Linda are in a separate room to work on their hacking stuff so we don't disturb them. Linda said it would probably be at least a few hours before they figured out how to fix this. Me, Natsuki, Yuri, and Renier, that's Natsuki's dad's name by the way, are left in the living room, unable to help. I'm going to get some air. I really want to spend some time alone with her, but I imagine she'd like a minute to herself first. She hasn't had that since this morning. The day's just been bombshell after bombshell. No cutting yourself, Natsuki calls out just before Yuri leaves. I wasn't going to. Just reminding you. Yuri leaves. The remaining three of us sit in silence for a moment. Dang, what a day already. I feel like I could take a nap right now. You might as well. Doesn't sound like we'll be needed for a while. I shrug. At the same time, I feel much more closely connected to the club members than I ever did before. I'd rather spend time with them. I guess going through all of that with a few other people creates that kind of bond. Natsuki leaves the room also and beckons me to follow her. Want to talk? Yeah. There's so much to think about. I'm still kind of worried about both Yuri and Sayori. Knowing what they were going through while I didn't have a clue, I definitely share that feeling. Even you, I had no clue what you were going through. Well, I kept it hidden on purpose. But I guess so did they. Kenshiro, do you remember the message I tried to send you in Act 2? Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't act on it. I just wish I just wish I'd have tried to do something sooner. I just wish I had one genuine conversation about it. About anything. With anyone else before I died. I mean, technically you didn't die, you were deleted, Natsuki, but you know what, not gonna nitpick you here. You remember my first poem? People can try, and that's about it. Yeah. I was thinking about that while I watched Yuri's corpse. I still feel terrible about that too. It's a wonder you're not, horribly traumatized. Well, my mind was wiped between then and when we all got brought back. I think if I was coming straight from it, I would have been. But I'm fine now. Wanna go back inside? Yeah. Yuri comes back in a minute later. Hi, Yuri. Hello. You doing okay? Yes. I've just been thinking about what it means for us. That our world is a game. But you know, Yuri, that's okay. We can relate it too, because so is ours, because we live in the Matrix. Yeah, I hadn't had time to reflect on that yet. How meaningless everything is in this world now. Hey, don't think about it like that, Kenshiro. You have each other. I mean, look, Yuri's right there. She's still alive, and I mean, I guess the script is kind of still plaguing you, but you all are still together, so you could at least be happy in that fact. School is meaningless. Education is meaningless. Well, Kenshiro, some might say that education is already meaningless whether you live in a game or don't live in a game, so... But that's a whole other can of worms that we're not going to open on this channel, okay? Getting a job is meaningless. Most of the people I thought I knew didn't even exist. Well, okay. Everything I thought I was living for is meaningless. Well, there's one thing that isn't meaningless. How did I know she was going to say that? Each other. In the literature club, we met the only other real people in our universe. That's a blessing we mustn't overlook. True. But on the other hand, if I hadn't joined the literature club, all this crap wouldn't have happened to me. Well, I'm sorry to say, Kenshiro, but I don't think you exactly had a choice. Remember, Monica kind of forced you and Sayori before that, so yeah. I chuckle slightly. I don't think you. There we go. Yeah, you see, Yuri always being the voice of reason here. The script would. Yeah, exactly. Did I really have a choice in anything I did? Hell, was it even my choice to spend time with you? I mean, technically it was my choice, but my heart sinks at the thought. If that wasn't me, then then what am I? It was. Don't say such things. But it was player's choice, right? Oh, I don't know what happened, but I guess the game doesn't remember the fact that my name is Mark, because last time it just called me Mark automatically, so I guess we're just not doing that anymore. Okay. Player. Did you make me choose Yuri? Can you answer? Well, I would answer if a text box appeared. I have to go get someone who can ask player. It, I'm just gonna say ask Mark because in the last episode we were calling the player, aka me, Mark, and I don't know what happened. I mean, the game when I booted it up this time, it kind of just went back to the original splash screen where it asks you if you played the original DDLC before. So I don't know what the hell happened there, but I'm just gonna say Mark instead of player whenever it says it. I run to the room the others are in. Monica? Someone? Kenshiro, what is it? I need to ask Mark a question. Mark, did you make me choose Yuri? Sorry to say it, Kenshiro, but I kinda did. I reel backward. I look down. Then who am I? If I'm not the one who loves Yuri, what am I? Am I even a real person? Kenshiro, hold on. You still made the decision. Probably the only reason the script could have that much control over you was because you didn't have a strong preference yourself in the beginning. The poem choice just determined who you would notice first and naturally end up spending your first day with. Because it also determined who would like your poem the most, it naturally spiraled into a relationship you thought was destined from the start. But you were never really mind-controlled or anything. You're a real person, Kenshiro, and you have free will. Yeah, because we established in the last episode that the player, aka me, is just a voice talking to him, and he's not like a puppet that I'm controlling, so it's definitely not in the script for you to think about this. I look up at her. Kenshiro, don't ever start thinking that you don't own yourself. The choices you made are still yours, and they were good choices, and I love you for them. Ah, thanks. Monica puts a hand on my shoulder. You're a unique person, Kenshiro. No matter how you look at it, the player only made a couple of choices for you. Outside of those few things, everything you did and said has been you. And you can resist his control. You just never tried before, because the script was only designed to give him a choice when you were on the fence. Mark, can we try it? I want to resist you. Ahaha. Alright, Mark, you ready? Ooh. Oh, this one is tempting, but no, Kenshiro should stop being selfish and disturbing your work. Yeah, honestly, I think he's kind of being an asshole at this random experiment right now when we're trying to figure out how to accomplish our goal, so there. Sorry, I'll go now. Wait, Kenshiro isn't being selfish. This is an important turning point for him. And we're not exactly short on time. No, you're all on borrowed time from me. So I'm the one who makes the decision. Yeah, I'm putting my foot down, okay? But Mark... No, Sayori. Mark is right. The only reason we're not both still suffering in the void is because of him. Yeah, because I downloaded this mod. It's his right to be selfish just this once. Sayori looks down. Okay, I'm going. Sorry for disturbing your work. I return to the living room. How did it go? Good. I'm not Mark. Monica said his choices can only control me when I'm on the fence, and I would be able to resist if I wanted to. Though Mark didn't want to let me try it because he thought I should stop disturbing their work. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Still, I'm glad you got the answer you needed. Yeah, me too. Would you like to continue our reading, Kenshiro? We can't read Portrait of Markov. Ah, of course. Well, we could start another book, even if we won't have time to finish it. It'd be more fun than sitting around doing nothing. Well, Yuri, don't worry, because player, I'm going to code 50 Shades of Grey into the file, so you guys can read that and have fun. Woohoo. Don't you agree? Yeah, Hold on. I have a solution to the problem of novels being too long. Kenshiro should try reading manga with me. Oh, goddammit, we're not doing this again, are we? We'll be able to finish a volume in a reasonable time frame. Are we really having this argument again? Yeah, exactly. No, we're not. You just misunderstood me. I don't have a problem with you reading with Yuri. Well, actually, I don't want Natsuki to feel left out. She's right. We were already going to start trying each other's forms of literature in Act 4. Again! What Act 4? Like, does Monika's act count as one? Because, like, let's think. Okay, the regular arc, okay, and then Sayori offs herself. And then we get to Act 2 where everything's altered by Monika. And so, isn't it just 2 acts of the game? I'm so confused. They keep bringing up Act 4. Does Monika's own, I guess, quote-unquote, route count as one? And then after that, when she restores the game, does that count as one? I guess it does. Maybe we can all... Wait, Natsuki's still into manga? Are you serious? Is that why she was doing so bad in school? Because she was spending time with you instead of reading childish? Shut up, Renier! You don't have any power over me anymore. I raised my eyebrows. I don't think this is going to go too well. Yeah, she called her dad by his first name, so... Look, you know what? It doesn't even matter. I want you to grow up and become independent. To leave that stuff behind and focus on the real world, getting an education and a job. But if all of that was meaningless anyway, then fine. Doesn't matter. Probably not even your real dad anyway. Well, in the fandom's heart, you'll always be the real dad, so anyway. We're all surprised at Renier's acceptance. Alright then. Natsuki, do you have a manga you recommend I start with? I'll pick one out for you, but if you're keeping your end of the deal, I should keep mine too. I'll read one of your novels while you read my manga. Thank you, Natsuki. Fade out. Yuri and I read the first volume of a manga called Detective Emiko. Is that a real thing? We're not reading Parfait Girls because Natsuki didn't think it'd be Yuri's thing. The mystery is really interesting, and the resolution catches us both by surprise. But in hindsight, the clues were there. We had a good time reading it. I'm kind of hungry. I suppose I am too. Shall we get something? But before we even get up, 2 plates line on the table, each containing a sandwich. Here you go. He proceeds to place one before Natsuki, then heads off toward the hacking room. My jaw's left open as he walks away. It's the last thing I expected from that man. The 3 of us exchange silent, baffled expressions. Hi everyone! I'm hungry. How's the hacking going? Not well. The game's code is a mess. There are probably hundreds of thousands of lines to live through, and no comments. But I'm sure we'll find it eventually. The one thing we found is that there's apparently 2 levels on the script. The script Monika already learned to edit is separate from the script that stops us from reading Portrait of Markov. We found the code for the normal script, but the deep script, or whatever, doesn't seem to be in the same place. Linda also taught us more about character files. Apparently, deleting or restoring the file only acts as a trigger for deleting or restoring the character internally. There are functions delete_character and restore_character that do the magic, and the game just calls those when you mess with the file, and vice versa. So it turns out my backups and the restore_character_file function I wrote were unnecessary. We all sit down to eat. I guess she has a full... Thanks for making these, Rainier. That's so nice of you. Oh, new Sprite. I've got nothing else left to do. Monika looks at her sandwich. They contain ham, cheese, and lettuce. Yummy, yummy. I'm vegetarian, so... Oh, of course you're vegetarian, Monika. Of course you're vegetarian, yeah. Because the... Fucking... A pig's life matters more than Yuri's, and Natsuki's and Sayori's. Yeah, you know... Here. She takes the slice of ham off her sandwich. Someone else can have this. She heads to the kitchen to get some extra vegetables. Does it matter? Neither the animals nor the environment mean anything in this world. I guess it's true. It's sort of a thing I started before I had my epiphany, and I just never thought about it again after. The veggies are good for you, you know. Reduced bone mass. Yummy, yummy. Monika comes back with cucumber and tomato slices on her sandwich. I didn't even know I had such things in my house. Speaking of that, do you think the past you that you remember really happened? Probably not, no. But I still remember it. Although, curiously, I remember starting to feel the effects of presidency before the day Kenshiro showed up at the club. I didn't understand, so I couldn't manipulate the game, but I started to notice how unimportant and nondescript everyone except my club members seemed. How could I never remember the details of a conversation with my teachers or whatever? And then it clicked when I saw how everything revolved around Kenshiro. Mark, you don't happen to have any ideas about this, do you? I don't think. Oh, I actually get like a ton of options. I don't think we have enough information to speculate. It sounds like the game projected fake memories for all of you to explain how you got to where you were at the start of the game. More options. It sounds like you all really did exist in this world before I found the game. And then at the start of the game was just when I gained a connection to Kenshiro. More options. Okay, so there's like 2 options. I was kind of hoping there'd be more, but I guess this is already good. Fake memories for all of you, or you all really did exist? I think this one sounds the most likely. That would make sense. So does that mean we didn't even exist before this? Because that's kind of depressing. Well, it's probable. You spelled that wrong, but wait, actually, did you spell that wrong? I don't know. Okay, no more grammar Nazi mark. Okay, no more. Okay, we're just gonna roll with it. It's probable that we existed before and just had our memories replaced with the projected ones, which I don't have any of, by the way. What's it like not remembering anything? Do you feel like you lack a sense of identity? Well, not really. I know I had a past. I know the story in your file happened, and I think I came to this world with a purpose of some sort. I don't really remember it, but my message to Rainier, I failed, you're our only hope. I'm sure everything will click into place once we find out what I meant by that, and we'll all find out who we really are. If the past we remember is all a fake, does that mean I didn't really grow up with Kenshiro? I guess so. Sayori says nothing, but I can tell she's troubled by it. We wouldn't have been friends if the script hadn't made us, would we? What are you saying? In the beginning of the game, you thought of me as an annoying girl, and told Mark that you'd never have made friends with me if it hadn't been that way from the start. I had forgotten about it back then. But after you found out about my depression and all, I was suddenly your dearest friend, and caring about me was something that made you happy. Damn, she's right. Yeah, that is kind of hypocritical, isn't it? It was just out of pity, wasn't it? That's difficult. That's difficult. No. Sayori's holding back tears. I'm going to get some air. Don't worry about me, okay? Sayori goes outside. I get up to follow her, but Monica stops me. Kenshiro, wait. You should probably give her a minute. Like hell I'm gonna do that. I remember what happened the last time I left her alone. Think about this, Kenshiro. If you go out after her, you're showing her that it is just out of pity. Trying to comfort her right now will just make her feel worse. I give an uncomfortable sigh. If you're worried about her killing herself again, she can't, because I can just restore her file. Okay. We eat in silence for a moment as our thoughts return to what started this. You know, I think that, personally, I wouldn't mind finding out that our entire lives have been a fabrication. The thought of finding out my real history is very exciting. I wouldn't mind either. Well, we can always just ask Dan Salvato. My life according to this game has been pretty much the definition of uninteresting. Although I think that's the point, which is kind of insulting. I'd like having a new start. All the things the script said about me, that I was smart, popular, athletic, whatever, none of them mean anything. I feel like the only trait the script gave me was a bunch of empty praise and accomplishments I didn't do. I feel like I don't know who I am yet outside of this hellish game. Rainier, I've been meaning to ask you, do you know what your job is? Rainier looks at the air for a few seconds and then just shrugs. Well, nothing but nondescript memories of being tired and frustrated all the time. I guess your memories are definitely fake then. You worked for an accounting firm, right? And the story in Yuri's file, so it seems, though I don't remember anything about my job. Not even a shimmer of it, strangely. Do you think that was before or after we met? I can't know. Although, it was implied in the story that I had had boyfriends before. I wonder if that was you. Kenshiro, I think you should go talk to Sayori now. It's been a minute and I'm worried about her. Right, I kinda forgot. I pick up her sandwich to bring it to her. Sayori? I find her wiping tears from her eyes. The universe sent me to torture me some more. I see. Sayori, I'm really worried about you. Yep. How many times do I have to tell you, Kenshiro? You worrying about me is the most painful thing. I mean, I know that, but I can't. Would you stop worrying about me if I was depressed like this? Even if I told you to? Sayori gives a long sigh. No. I guess that's just the way it has to be. It's like I said before, every path leads to nothing but hurt. And it's all my own fault too. Sayori. I trail off. I don't know what to say to help her. Mark, can you help? Sayori, just because Kenshiro wouldn't have made friends with you on his own, that doesn't make you a bad person or a bad friend. That was before he knew the most admirable side of you. I would have made friends with you of my own accord. Sun and Rain aren't natural friends, but they're both good. You don't need external validation to be a good person. You know what? Screw it. The bottom one's what I agree with. But you're trying to make me feel like a good person by giving me external validation. Damn. Sayori, look at it this way. Oh, I see I have more choices. Okay, game, thank you very much. The beginning of this game was before Kenshiro knew about the most admirable side of you, Sayori. That you tried so hard to hide your depression and make everyone else happy even while you were suffering is really admirable. Someone who would do that deserves love and help. But you think I shouldn't have kept it a secret? Okay, it was misguided but admirable. No way I'm saying the top one. Okay, not even out of curiosity. Well, I don't know. Sayori, Mark is right. Anyone else would have asked for help in your situation. Anyone else would have dumped their sorrows on their friends. But you tried so hard to avoid making your friends sad. You deserve to be cared about because of that. Well, I guess that helps. Thanks. I brought you your sandwich, by the way. I hand it to her. I laugh when I see Sayori's facial reaction. Food! Sayori follows me back inside as she nibbles on the sandwich. Aw. Hi, you two. Glad to have you back. What'd I miss? Not much. So, Mark, I've been meaning to give you a chance to ask some questions. Oh, I actually get... Okay. How does this question thing work? I suppose that's a good one. So normally, the script only gives you a choice when it's one that's part of the intended game, like which girl to write for. Outside of that, I don't think you can get any choices unless I, or someone else with code powers, gives you one. But I've learned how to not restrict you to options I can think of. Oh, nice! So I actually get like some liberty with how I go about this. Okay, that's gonna be nice. Yeah. It's a bit of an iffy hack, but it works. Any other questions? How do you experience time? Well, I experience in-game time the same as the other characters do. I'm aware when there's a time gap in your interface, like when a day passes, but I still experience the entire evening and all. The only reason I can tell when you're skipping is because that information is stored in config.skipping. Any other questions? How do the time gaps in my interface work? Well, in a game we all experience time as we would if our world was real. The game binds a display on your computer to Kenshiro's experience. But sometimes, when the script calls for it, some time is skipped. We still experience it, but you don't. Any other questions? What kind of dreams did you have overnight? Ah, that's a good question. I think it was after day 1, I had the dream that I described in a special poem about falling asleep at a friend's house. It is an obvious allegory for what that day was like for me. Other than that, not counting the nightmares from the game being off, I don't remember any dreams. What about you, Sayori? I don't think I can remember any. I never had a night as president. Neither of you remember any dreams from before day 1 of the acts where you were president? Nothing that kind of foreshadowed it before you realized it? Nothing at all? Nope. Any other questions? More options. Oh, okay, I actually do get more options. Yay! Linda, how do you have code powers? You weren't ever club president, right? I don't think so. I really don't know how to answer that. I suppose we'll need to unlock my memories to understand. Yeah, that's gonna be an iffy one, isn't it? Although, it does seem that my powers are weaker than Monika and Sayori's. Even now that I'm here, I can't manipulate the game as well as they can. I have a head start in knowledge of the code, but my abilities aren't as strong as theirs. Vice presidency? I don't know. I mean, as far as I can remember, I wasn't physically in the world or part of the game until you gave me a character file. So I don't see how I could ever have been vice president of the club. Any other questions? Oh boy, I didn't see that one at the bottom before. Okay, you know what? Linda, the story about you mentioned R34 websites. Do you really do that? Did we see that? I don't know what it's talking about. Is that in the file? That in her character file that we saw? Because I swear to God, it didn't have anything like that in it. So, yeah, R34. I don't remember the details of that story, but I swear I'm not a pervert. Mark, how can you judge Linda for that while you forgive Monika and Sayori for murdering us all? I don't forgive Monika, okay? Okay? Look, asshole, you don't actually see my true perspective, okay? And one, I'm not judging her. I'm just asking her a question about it, okay? I wasn't trying to shame her. I was just asking that comparison. Yeah, but so has she. Are you deaf, Mark? She was in hell too the entire time. Um, can we not fight? Yes, let's please talk about something else. I'm not about to go browsing R34 or something. Any other questions? I kinda wanna know more about Linda and Rainier's relationship. Mark, we told you we don't remember anything. You seem to have some inklings, okay? Linda, in Rainier's file you wrote, "Don't forget everything I taught you." Don't you have any idea what that meant? No, I really don't. Me neither. I just know it meant something. You two seem close. Is it possible that Linda's Natsuki's mom? For Christ's sake, Mark, weren't you listening? Rainier probably isn't even my real dad. Okay, when did we establish that? Where's the proof of that? Okay, so, because all that other time, you know, actually, I'm thinking about it now. If he was a character from another world, but then again, if he's the incarnation of the character from the book, then in this world, Rainier would be Natsuki's dad, but if that's the scenario, then yes. But if he's like, if he's not an incarnation like everywhere at the end of time, if he's actually just Rainier jumping from world to world, then he's probably not her dad. Unless it's like he's like a Greek god or something, and he just mates with whatever women he sees. So that's okay. We should probably get back to the story. So there's no logic there. Any more questions? More options. Yay! We actually get more. I hope you know we're going through all these because I want every scrap of lore. Okay, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for this. Your presidents see the world as three-dimensional, or like I do. We see it if it's real to us, but we can also see your display. It's a bit weird to be able to see myself like this. It's also kind of funny how the sprites work, seeing how limited the on-screen representation of us is. Especially how one of us only has a few poses that we use repeatedly. Like how I always do this pointing thing, but surprisingly it's mostly accurate. That position just feels really natural to me. Any other questions? I think we know that. I don't think we have to ask that. Natsuki, do you forgive Rainier yet? We are not having this conversation. But you forgive Monica! This is totally inconsistent. Cause it is. Monica had a way bigger excuse and already spent the whole time in the void. And if your selective memory won't activate at this moment, Natsuki, so did your dad. Monica didn't delete his file, so he was still existent. And like I said before, Yuri was only bad after she got tampered with. Rainier was just a prick all along. I've had it with your ingratitude, Natsuki. I provided for you, everything. And you repay me by comparing to the girl who murdered you? You only did that because you were responsible for me. Or thought you were. Natsuki, you're being inconsiderate. Rainier had things just as bad as you. He was in poverty too, only he was working for it. Just because he was responsible for you doesn't mean you can count only the bad things about him. He hasn't even apologized, because you haven't shown any gratitude, and I'm not going to. Well, I don't think that went very well. I don't... I'm curious. Actually, I don't think I'm really curious about that. Yeah, let's just say that we're done. We've all finished our lunch. Well, we should get back to work. Thanks for the sandwiches. You're welcome. I'm still a little confused about Rainier. Has he forgiven Monica? I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn down the volume. Because I don't know why, but the volume and like all the other stuff also reset when I turned the game on again today, so I don't know what that is. Developer, whatever your name is, if you're watching this, can you please fix that bug? Yeah. We'll see you again soon, everyone. And, and thanks for the talk, Kenshiro and Mark. Of course. ... I feel so useless. Now you know how I felt staring at Yuri's corpse for 3 days. And how I felt trying to stop her from dying in the first place. Okay, Natsuki, how did you try to stop Yuri from... I mean, yeah, you gave the MC the letter saying like, oh, you gotta help me, Yuri's doing this. But other than that, you didn't really do anything, Natsuki. I'm sorry to break it to you. The four of us sit in silence for a moment. 4 of us? Do I count 2? Because I don't see anyone else. This sure would be a good time for a beer. There's something I've been thinking about. What would have happened if Monica had never killed us? If the festival had just gone well the first time? You know, it's not obvious. Knowing our world is a visual novel, what would happen to us if it ended? It would be worse. Wouldn't it? There are 2 possibilities. Either we would have all stopped existing when the game ended, or we'd live on. Our world no longer bound to the software on Mark's computer, but trapped forever in a universe only the six of us. We wouldn't even have Linda, and Mark would never even know. It's ironic, but Monica's actions are the only reason any of us have any hope. Wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. I feel inspired to write poetry. I can't imagine what my mind will be able to come up with now. That sounds fun. Yuri, Natsuki, and I all get notebooks and pencils. I just realized something. I can't remember any of my poems. Now that you mention it, I can't remember them either. I can remember yours. What did I write? Well, like a bunch of jumble of words like happy, sad, poem, playdate, like eternity, whatever the words were. The first poem I wrote, and I was so proud to see Yuri like it. How can I not remember? Not a single line of it. It's probably because you never wrote any. Huh? You're the player character, remember? And this is a dating game, so maybe you didn't actually write your poems. Maybe Mark was just picking who to write for from a menu, or playing a minigame or something. The game probably just gave us nondescript memories when we read your poems, like it did you and Yuri with Portrait of Markov. It makes sense. I looked down again, and sigh. So it was all a lie. I thought I was getting better at poetry. Kenshiro, it's okay. You don't have to be a great poet. You're a good enough friend without that. Thanks. We sat down to write. Oh, poem minigame song, yay! Do I actually get to write anything? Man, writing is hard. It's been like 10 minutes and I haven't come up with anything. Honestly, I'm afraid to write anything down because I'm used to Yuri liking my poems. I'm so terrified of showing her the first one that's actually mine. There's no way it's going to be garbage. Wait, no way it's going to be garbage, or no way it's not going to be garbage. There's no way it's not going to be garbage. Oh, glitch. Back in class. Yikes, is everyone okay? I don't see Linda and Rainier. I guess the script got fed up with us not being in the club during club hours. Linda and Rainier probably got left behind because they're not club members. Ah, here everyone is. At least nothing broke. We'd better stay here then. We don't want to upset the script if we don't have to. The three hackers moved to sit down around the teacher's desk. Well, we kept our notebooks and pencils. Natsuki sits down and continues writing. I feel out of place being at school out of uniform. No one's gonna see us. Oh wait, whoops. Did I? Okay, yeah. I don't know what that was. No one around to see us. Natsuki and Yuri and I get back to working on our poems. Rainier's left by himself. Eventually, I managed to get some solid ideas and come up with the beginnings of the poem. I stand up and stretch my legs. I think I need to take a break. Writing is really tiring. I'd like to go with you if you don't mind. Mind? Yuri, of course not. Come on. We step outside. The open air is wonderful. The open, virtual air. Maybe you should write a poem about it. I'm sure it would be great. Kenshiro, what do you think we are? Huh? What do you mean? We think ourselves people, but we exist inside a piece of software. What are we then, metaphysically? Oh boy, here it comes. Yeah, I saw on the download page of this game, I don't know if any of you have downloaded this mod and seen it, but on the download page of this game, the author declares himself a philosopher, so I guess this is what we're going to now. Okay, what are we then, metaphysically? You know, it's British accent time. Monica said we aren't just code, but how can we be anything else? What can we be such that our actions and experiences are confined to a program if we're not just pieces of the code? I don't know. Are we disembodied souls who have control over some region of the computer's memory? Are we in this moment ethereal? Not because of some phony god's blessing, but because of our own intelligence we are enlightened? To be or not to be, that is the question. Wow, Yuri, you're really being philosophical right now. I know, Mark, I'm so great. Why do I have this accent? Because, Yuri, we know that British people are smarter than Americans, so therefore when you're smart, you have to use a British accent. Oh wow, Mark, that makes so much sense. Well, one thing's for certain. We're not pieces of code. Whatever happens, I will believe that. Because I won't believe that every word you and I have ever said to each other and everything we've done are just products of an algorithm. Well, Kenshiro, some people also believe that global warming doesn't exist, but, yeah, we know how that ended up. Believing that would take away the value in it. You're right. You always know how to put my thoughts in perspective. I smile back. Kenshiro, I want to say this officially. I love you. I respond without hesitation. I've been longing for this moment. I love you too. As I say, I'm reminding of the kiss we never had. What the heck? Where is this going? I thought this was supposed to be a horror mod, but okay, I guess we're doing this now. Hey. Okay, I don't think I should say that out loud because there's people in the other room, but, yeah, you can read that. Yuri immediately blushes, but then she smiles. Yes, that was a good time as any. I wish I had memorized more lines from Eye of Argon so I could quote it now. Kenshiro lustfully glared with purple orbs at the writhing white arms before him. I'll stop. Illuminated by the luminescence of the phosphorant torch, he declared, Yuri, quaff me my lips and drink of my essence. But just as we're about to do it, I catch sight of Rainier out of the corner of my eye. Of course. I pull back immediately. Thankfully, Rainier doesn't seem to have seen us. He does now. Hi. I've been scouting the school grounds. There's definitely no one else here. Monica already told us that. I know. But I felt the need to confirm it. Also, it doesn't really make sense. Me and Linda are here, even though we're not part of the intended story. Well, you said you came to this world with a mission of some sort, right? Did you mean all of us? Or just you two? I have no idea, and it's probably useless to speculate. I was just thinking, if there are at least 2 people here that aren't part of the dating game, I wonder about the others mentioned in the secrets. Libitina, Alicia, and Markov, at least. Are they in here somewhere? Maybe somewhere else in the game world? You know, I'm not entirely without a place in the dating game. I was related to Natsuki. Maybe the script would have used me on her route if Monica hadn't cut it short. But Linda's the only one who doesn't belong at all, and we've had to do special stuff to get her in. So if the others are around somewhere, they're probably like Linda was. Yuri and I slowly realized the implication. So that means... what if they're suffering right now as she was? Mark! I had character files for them. Mark can't speak to us without a hacker to give him a dialogue choice. Let's go back! I mean, technically I can still do it, you just have to tell me which characters to make, Rainer, okay? Monica and everyone, we need to talk to Mark. What's up? Mark needs to put files for the other characters. What other characters? Back up. Yeah, exactly. Just let Mark speak. Oh, Markov and Alicia. Rainer, I didn't already put the files in. So I guess all I can say is, you know what, actually, you know, we're just gonna try it. We're gonna open this. Characters. This, what the this folder is empty. What the okay. We're gonna go to my desktop if I can find it. There it is. Then DDLC, Return to the Portrait PC, characters. Where the fuck are the characters? Game. All this is still here, so where's the characters? I guess we're just gonna actually just put them in. Okay. Text document. Okay. File. Save as. All files. Is it lowercase all? Markov.chr. I guess that's all we can do, yeah. So, Markov.chr, save. Yes, it's an actual CHR file. And then Elisa, I hope I spelled her name right. I'm pretty sure it's... oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Okay, file, save as, Elisa.chr. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell her name. And then, as all files. Save. There. Hopefully that works. Alright, let's do it. Rainier, I already put the files in. Nothing's happening. I don't even feel anything different. I suppose they aren't here. They're probably in whichever place we were before this game. Where do you think they might have been? Do you think it's possible we used to exist in Mark's world, and the catastrophe Rainier mentioned was when someone trapped us in this game? No. I can't imagine how it'd be possible to move a person into a piece of software. You know, I swear to God there was a Mario 64 creepypasta about exactly this. More likely, we were always in a virtual world, and DDLC is another world like it. Or a pocket dimension of that world somehow. Monica sighs. Just wishful thinking. I want so much to get out of this world somehow. Even if we solve the present nightmares, it'll still be a terrible ending if we're stuck in this world forever. Tell me that's not the life I'm doomed to live. Monica sits down. She seems to be on the verge of tears. Monica? I mean, I'm not trying to say it wouldn't be a horrible ending, but weren't you the one talking after we all got brought back about how about how we had to solve this so player could move on? I'd accepted death when I tried to end it all in Act 4. I thought it was the only possibility to escape the horrors of presidency. And I was still taking for granted when you brought us all back. But all this portrait of Markov and secret stuff is so promising that I took the excuse to get my hopes up for a better ending. But I'll feel so much worse if we solve it all and are still trapped in here, our lives as meaningless as ever. You know, is this a red herring or something and like their character files are filled in now? Let's see. Notepad. Nope, nothing. I cling to this hope that the truth will set us free, even though it'll probably just hurt me more in the end. Monica does break into tears. Damn it! I don't want to live a life that means nothing. And the worst part is, I know I deserve that fate. I'm lucky to be alive after what I've done. Sayori hugs Monica. No, no one deserves that fate. No one deserves a sad ending. I would know. Because I'm the only one who chose to give myself a sad ending. So even if we all ended up sad, we won't deserve it. Thinking that will just make it worse. I know that from experience too. Thank you, Sayori. That means a lot. Monica wipes the tears off her face. I'm ready to get back to work now. The hackers return to their investigation. I guess it's time to finish my poem. After we did all that, adding the character files back in, we had that whole discussion where we're going back to this now. Okay. Yes, blank text. Can you finish your poem now? Okay. This is looking basically finished. I just need to rewrite it on a new sheet of paper. And done. I'm still really nervous about this though. My poem is ready, I guess. Mine too. You know, we're gonna save right now in case something happens. There. Alright, so it's mine. Yuri, want to share first? Gladly. I think about asking her to show me hers first this time, given how anxious I am about this. But I decided it's better to get it over with and end on the good note. I give Yuri my poem. I'll hold it so Mark can see. Lost. I used to be an average Joe. I quite enjoyed it too. But that life is gone now. I don't know where I'm headed to. Who I was, I have no clue. Who I'll be is yet to see. When we open that book, will I find a past or a future? Oh no, it's as bad as I feared, isn't it? Is it terrible? I ask in a low voice. Well, it's not all bad. I look up. The last line has some good ideas going through it. You really think so? I think the contrast between options is interesting. That is, it's interesting to present the past and the future beside each other like that. I think it I can't speak English today. I think it provides an intriguing sense of perspective. Well, thanks. I'm not sure how sincere the compliment is, but it helps nonetheless. I also want to mention, are the first and third lines supposed to rhyme? Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Eh? I read my poem again. Crap, they don't rhyme. Yeah. I really thought that rhymed somehow. Excuse me, I burp. That's okay. It's not like that was the biggest problem anyway. Ouch. That actually is pretty damn it, Yuri. What is the biggest problem, do you think? I would say the lack of imagery. Human feelings are most easily stimulated by perception. So it's easier to appreciate a poem when you have an image to envision. It's kind of like show don't tell in storytelling. Okay. So, I could go on a whole entire rant about this fucking nerd writer crap, this show don't tell, and how people take it too far. I could do that, but you came here for a DDLC Let's Play, but, oh boy, yeah. That makes sense. I'll keep that in mind. Also, the phrase average Joe gives such an informal impression that it clashes with the depth of the last line. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Don't be discouraged by all this. You'll get better. Thanks. Can I read your poem now? Of course. The Third Eye. Wait. Okay, the music is different from how Yuri's poem music usually is. I'm sorry. I thought that was oh my god. I thought that was in my house. That little like metal clashing sound. Jesus. Wow, this is actually like really okay. I love how I'm focusing on the music instead of the poem. Sorry. I'm just really interested in like why he chose this kind of track, cuz it's like very mysterious, and I can already see from the title, The Third Eye. So is this about the portrait of Markov, I guess? Are we actually going to like now talk about it, I wonder? Or maybe this will give us some more insight, cuz Yuri actually has read the book before. So anyway, let's just read it. The third eye, within the recesses of the mind, a power buried deep. Perhaps it is common to everyone, or perhaps I'm alone. What I know is that one must never touch it, lest it make you its own. My curiosity got the better of me. I sought the fleeting vestige. I followed it to dark places. It led me to the abyss of its lair, and once before the altar I no longer want to leave. When the knife is drawn, the urge grows, and when the urge grows, the knife will be drawn. A vicious spiral of darkness that can never be escaped. I save the darkness now. I serve the darkness now. I do not remember what I used to be. All I know is that I must never let go, lest I become my own. Okay, I was half expecting to see her with the freaky eyes that she has after that one poem smeared in blood in the original game. Yuri, did you figure out something about the third eye? No. Just thought it'd be fun to theorize. I'm fairly sure it has something to do with my cutting. Well, I like the poem. I'm not sure I understand the last line, though. I thought it would be interesting to show how the subject's change in perspective as she starts to identify with the darkness. Oh, to show the subject's change in perspective, she starts to identify with the darkness and doesn't even want to be free of it anymore. It's kind of like what happened to me in Act 2. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with me, but it felt so good. And so I gave up trying to fight it. That's really dark. Someone should write a horror novel about that. I think that's what Portrait of Markov is. Oh, right. Well, thanks for sharing. Ready to share? Yeah. I give Natsuki my poem. Lost. Okay, I already read this. I brace. Please don't kill me. I guess I shouldn't have expected something better than the first one in Act 1. But seriously, this is the definition of uninspired. It sounds like in the first... Oh wow, now Natsuki's doing the pointing thing. Okay. It sounds like in the first paragraph, you just threw whatever rhymes you could think of that didn't take any imagination. Because it's literally what you've already expressed. And the second paragraph, you just try to copy Yuri and make it sound all deep, and you didn't succeed. Also, are the first and third lines supposed to rhyme? Because they don't. Yeah, I realize that now. Is it so hard to proofread your poem? Man, I proofread it dozens of times. Whatever, it's your first real try. Just take this away. A poem isn't worth writing unless you have something meaningful to say. Something worth taking the time to find a really powerful way of saying. Okay, thank you. I'll do better next time. It's okay. Mistakes are how you learn. Want to read my poem now? Yeah, I guess. Natsuki gives me her poem. Mistakes. I used to be small. Everyone else was bigger than me. I feared them all. I was afraid they were better than me. I used to need to be the best. I couldn't show my weak side. I didn't even share my poems because I was afraid of not being the best. We fought in the club because of it, and I said some things I wish I hadn't. I pushed my friends away and blamed them for it. Then I realized my mistake. Being afraid of mistakes is the biggest mistake. Next to that, it doesn't matter if my poems are good. It's okay if my poems aren't the best. It's okay to ask for help and advice, because everyone makes mistakes. Ahaha. Fitting. Well, I reread the poem. Huh? I didn't even think about what this meant at first. I never thought I'd hear this from her. I'm impressed. It's a really good poem, and I really appreciate the sentiment. I mean, you'd be a jerk if you didn't. It's something I've been thinking about for a while. I guess hearing Monika and Sayori's confessions helped me overcome it. Finding out two of my friends could do such terrible things and I'd still see them as friends. And there was something admirable about how Monika handled her confession. she could bring back the people she murdered, give us our memories back when she could have made an excuse not to, and just tell us everything so bravely, then I shouldn't be afraid of my friends not liking my poems. Ah, that's a really good way of looking at it. I'm proud of you, Natsuki. Me too, I guess. I'm really glad I wrote this. I'm going to share it with Yuri now. Yuri and Natsuki exchange poems. Yuri, is this? No, it's just idle theory. And I haven't cut myself since. Okay. Well, Natsuki thinks for a moment, trying to say this without starting an argument. I still just don't really get the point of this kind of poem. There doesn't seem to be anything to learn from it. It's just a story. I don't think the point of poetry has to be to send messages. Well, when you put it that way, I guess it makes sense. It's not my thing because I don't really know anything like what the poem is describing. But I do think it's good. Thank you. I really appreciate your poem as well. You show me that your style has merits. And I'm sorry that I was inconsiderate the first time. No problem. I smile. It's really nice to see them get along well in this context of poetry. Hey, you two should share your poems to everyone else. I'm sure Monica and Sayori would love to see them. I'd like to as well. But if they're too busy working on the code, I don't want to interrupt them. Mark, you'd better not disallow this too. Wow, okay. I see you're referring to me directly now, Kenshiro. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, I see we're on that level of our relationship now. Okay. Well, it's not too urgent. And I'm sure they'd appreciate a short break. Well, alright. Let's show them. Hey! I mean... Okay, everyone. We wrote some poems for you. Yuri and I giggle at the use of Monica's catchphrase. Yeah, I was about to mention that. Poems? That sounds really fun! Natsuki and Yuri lay their poems on a desk. I hold mine back. I don't really want to share it. Kenshiro, did you write a poem too? Not really. Yeah, he did. But it was really bad. Natsuki! I don't really want to show it, okay? Look, you don't learn by not being criticized, Kenshiro. Impulsively, I raise my voice. I already got criticism, okay? I know it's bad. It's okay, Kenshiro. You don't have to show your poem. Four of them read over Natsuki and Yuri's poems. These are really good, both of you. The mistakes one is cute. You can't be serious. Eh? I don't understand. I can see that. What's your problem, Natsuki? It was a compliment. My problem is that every time I write about something serious, people just tell me it's cute. Her sudden spike in volume surprises even me. Everyone cool it. No one meant any insult. Natsuki is just used to being dismissed for being cute. And how is Linda supposed to know that? Gee, Rainier, you seem oddly defensive of her. You sure you don't remember anything about your past relationship? She wasn't. I'm just saying we should try to understand where each other are coming from. I'm sorry, I just feel like something about that sentence doesn't click. I didn't mean to offend. For the record, I think it's a good poem. Rainier picks up Yuri's poem. The third eye. He whispers to himself. The third eye. The third eye. The third eye. He whispers to himself faster and faster. I know what's in there! In where? In me! I have to try something. Yuri, give me a knife. What? What are you thinking? I have to cut myself. I have to see if anything happens. That's a terrible idea. Any information we get about the third eye might help us. We have to do this. Rainier, wait. I remember that secret poem you said you might have written? Where you're possessed by the third eye and killed someone? We aren't going to risk that, okay? Look, there's no risk. None of us can die. Besides, we can just have Mark make a save first and go back to it, right? Well, I suppose so. But what's the benefit? We need to disable the script one way or another to get out of this. And once we do that, we'll be able to read Portrait of Markov and have my memories. You don't need to do this. It might reveal something that could help you. The third eye might be related to presidency. Monica cut herself too at one point, remember? Special poem number 4. She even wrote that she even wrote that was exhilarating. I do remember that. One way or another, I'm going to try it. Well, alright. I might as well cooperate. Okay, I'm saving the game because it sounds like something bad's about to happen. But, I'm getting some kind of, like... I can't put my finger on, like, how to describe it. I'm getting some kind of vibe, like... I guess the book is like possessing Renier, and he's like and the book is trying to make him do something that he shouldn't. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sip of water because it's been an hour straight of speaking out loud. Excuse me. I don't know if the mic picked up, but Yuri hands Renier a knife. Uh-oh. Player, Mark, you should make a save now. Make sure it's at this exact moment, otherwise something might go wrong. Okay, Linda. I mean, you're the boss here, I guess. Alright, I've made a save. Due to the way dialogue choices work, you'll probably have to say it again when you load the save. Also, don't load the save before we're ready. Alright. Renier, the save is ready. Renier puts the knife to his wrist and gives himself a cut. Ay, 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 ay. Ha, that's painful for me to think of. We all watch his face. He doesn't say anything. Renier? It did something, didn't it? Please say something. Holy fuck. Yuri's poem was exactly right. It feels good. Way too good. It didn't do anything, though. Did it? It's not messing you up? No. Come to think of it, Yuri, you experienced it this way too, didn't you? Cutting yourself suppressed the third eye rather than activating it. Yes. I wonder if it's like an addictive drug. Cutting relieves the symptoms in the moment, but makes the problem worse. Could the raccoon poem have something to do with it? Because remember, Yuri's first poem in the original Doki Doki Literature Club is the raccoon asking her. He wants bread, and therefore Yuri has to take the knife and cut the bread, which is an allegory for her wrist. So, could the raccoon be because we thought originally that the raccoon could be representing like Yuri's depression or something, or I don't know what symptom it is that makes you cut yourself, but I'm just gonna say depression. I'm gonna say it now. I'm not like okay, because this mod deals with a lot of like psychological stuff. I'm gonna be speculating about it. I'm just gonna say it now so that you can remember the future. I'm not a psychologist. Do not take my advice like about whatever pops up, whatever I commentate on. I'm just a random guy from California on his fucking computer commenting about an anime game. Okay, so whatever I speculate on, don't take it as fact or like tell your friend about it. Like, oh, I heard this is true. No, okay, but I guess that we originally thought that the raccoon was an allegory for Yuri's depression, but perhaps the raccoon, it's less of an allegory and more of like a tangible force, because the raccoon is physically asking for bread. So just like that, there's a certain force within this game asking for that bread, asking for them to cut themselves, because it gives this like good feeling. So perhaps this is the script, perhaps it relates to like some power the original portrait of Markov has. Maybe Markov is like maybe it's less that the book itself is powerful, and maybe like contains something within it, like it's a catalyst for something, or like a gateway or something like that. And like when you try to read it, like the gateway is open and everything gets corrupted. Anyway, let's see. We need to find out who all has this. We should all try it. No! Let's not all cut ourselves! Duh! We need to figure out what the pattern is. It's obvious from the subject Libitina report that the third eye has some kind of power. It's a long shot, but maybe if we could harness that power and figure out how to control it, it could get us out of here. If the four of us non-hackers can't do anything else to help, we've got to do this. His eyes land on me and Natsuki. Oh shit. Fuck no! You're not doing that to me! Yeah, me neither! This is stupid! Mark, tell him he's way out of control. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a save here in case. Maybe like once we're done with this game, we'll go back and revisit like all these choices to see if it does anything. Okay, let's see. Renier, what's your logic in choosing Kenshiro and Natsuki? Renier, you sound exactly like the cultist in Portrait of Markov. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, because if there's one thing I learned from my exposure to supernatural horror, it's that the minute you look upon whatever big bad evil thing is, like you start to get corrupted by it, and you start to like become insane. You know, like do what it's telling you to do, because it's like pretty much every Lovecraft story where like there's a big monster is about this. Like in Dagon, he saw Dagon and he like went insane. He jumped out the window, or like actually, you know, that's the only example I can think of off the top of my head. Actually, no. Or in like Conan the Barbarian, God in the Bull, when they saw, you know, when they saw God, with his long neck, like when they saw God, they went insane. Conan was like on the borderline of going insane, or like in Scarlet Citadel when Conan was going through and he saw all the monsters in that lair in Sotha's lair, like he almost went insane because of how like ungodly they are, how otherworldly they are. So what I'm thinking right now is that like the portrait of Markov, it has some kind of similar effect as those monsters do. So yeah, Ren, you sound exactly like the cultists. Don't you think this is what they told themselves to justify their actions? Do you really not see the difference between volunteering for these experiments and imprison? Oh, okay. There's the key word. There's the key word there. Experiments. What's portrait of Markov about, friends? Say it with me. Human experimentation going wrong. So therefore, like, okay. Oh my God. Okay, how dumb are you? Do you really not see the difference between volunteering for these experiments and imprisoning people to force it on them? That's like not seeing the difference between charity and stealing. I don't consent, and neither does Kenshiro. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just pointing out that if you really want to have the best chance of getting us all out of here, you'll volunteer. And somehow someone is comparing me to murderous cultists? Renier, this probably won't help. At best we get a piece of data that might help us, but it's a totally unreasonable stretch. Okay, fine. You don't have to do the right thing. I can't blame you for being selfish. Selfish? Sure, because it's selfish not want to cut myself as an experiment. Natsuki, Renier made a personal sacrifice in the interest of solving our problem. You have no right to be... whose side are you on, lady? Whose side are you on at this point? Are you on your fucking boyfriend's side, or are you on the group side? Say it now at this point. Because you keep fence hopping between us. Like, when he says something that's wrong, you say, "Oh no, no, don't say that, Renier. That's bad." But when we say something like, you shouldn't do that," you're like, "Oh, whoops, sorry. I think the mic might be too close to my face. I hope that's not really affecting the recording that much." But like when we say something, you're like, "Oh no, you're being too harsh." No matter how gentle it is, you say we're being too harsh. So which one are you on? Okay, you gotta pick a side at this point. Before this gets more heated, maybe we should just load the save. I guess I have no choice in the matter. Okay. Yes, load the save. I've made a save. That was it. Wait, we did the experiment? I'll restore everyone's memories. Oh, okay, so she can use the console too. Oh, right. We should get back to work now. The hackers return to work, leaving me, Yuri, and Natsuki and Rainier and Logan again. What do you three say we go exploring? Okay, that's the number one phrase in horror movies that gets people killed next to, "Hey, let's split the group," or like, "Hey, are you chicken?" Oh my God. Okay. I have a feeling you're gonna die first. I don't know what it is, but I'm calling it right now. You're dying first, Renier. Probably. Like, I mean, we got nothing else to do because you're so reckless. It's like you're the one who suggested we do all this crazy bullshit so that we could quote unquote figure stuff out. But no. I wonder what happens when we try to leave the game area. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't want to crash things again. It might give us information about how this world works that could help the hackers. And, excuse me. And at worst, it'll hurt temporarily. That's basically the same argument you made for your violent experiment. What about the interruption would cause them if it crashes? As small as it is, that's got to be worth at least as much as the chance of learning something useful. Renier sighs. I just really want to help, okay? I feel so useless. I'm really surprised. Is Renier admitting that he was wrong? Well, you know what? Honestly, yeah. I feel it. Because, it really sucks when you're part of, like, a group and you want to help carry your weight, but you really just can't do anything. Like, whether it's a school project or, like, or just anything. Like, you really want to help, but you just don't know what to do. So I get where he's coming from, but, like, yeah, he's being a little bit reckless. So I get why he would have that sentiment, like, that he has to be useful, that he has to, like, have his hand in all these things. But honestly, I feel like it's just tearing the group apart more than anything. So I hope he'll change. Is Renier admitting that he was wrong? I understand. You told yourself both... You told yourself both were wise because you wanted them to... Oh, what the f... Okay, I had a stroke trying to read this. Maybe my English just isn't working today, but... You told yourself both were wise because you... Okay, Okay, I feel like there's. You know what? We're just moving on. Self-deception is easy and can be very tempting, but you have to resist it. When I first started getting addicted to cutting, I told myself it wasn't a problem because I could stop if I wanted to. Essentially, I told myself I didn't need to stop because I could. It was a trap I didn't climb out of. It led to my death. So you need to examine your thoughts rationally because self-deception is harmful. I think those are wise words. I thought this was my story, you know? I even wrote that to Mark. Time to be a fucking hero. But you're right. I'll get my chance when we break out of this game. I just need to be patient. Everyone, it's time to run a test. A test? We found a section of code that might just be related to the deep script. And to test our theory, we need to trigger it. Alright, I'm saving the game. I'm saving the game. That sounds like a really bad idea. That's great! Can we just open Portrait of Markov? Maybe. The deep script's goal is to stop us from finding out the truth or escaping. So maybe if we have just one person open the book by themselves, and it isn't Kenshiro or someone with code powers, it might not consider that an immediate threat? Oh, that's actually pretty smart. After all, it didn't crash the game when Monica was getting ideas about the book in the space room. Oh, and it didn't crash it in the original game when Yuri was reading it by herself. Oh, okay. Like all those times where it just said like, "Oh, Yuri's face is deep in the book." She was probably reading Portrait of Markov, and she doesn't have those powers, so probably it'll work. It waited until she was about to spill the beans to stop her. So I think we should try with someone who can read the book without being able to immediately show what they learned to Mark. If my theory about the code is right, we should still see the eternal activity I'll be looking for. That makes sense. So I'll go out by myself and open it. It should be safe with me, right? I think so. Yuri leaves with the book. Alright, let's brace ourselves. Saving the game. Saving the game. In case something bad happens. I see the log output. I was right! I read part of the book. It said... I don't remember. Well, that was a disappointment. That probably wouldn't have worked anyway. The deep script would have just hijacked everything as soon as the information was about to be passed on to someone who could act on it. Well, we confirmed that's where the deep script checks whether it needs to act. This is huge progress. Oh! We forgot something! Uh-oh, the cheery music is starting. Are we gonna sing and dance and hold hands? What's that? Natsuki's cupcakes! This is day 1, so they shouldn't be in the classroom. We can celebrate our breakthrough. I forgot too. Thanks for reminding me. It would have been terrible if we never got to eat them. I'll make some tea then too. Natsuki gets out the cupcakes and they're as fluffy and delicious as I remember them. Yuri turns with the tea to match. Soon after we finish our cupcakes, I hear the bell ring. Oh. Hahaha. Club period is over. We heading back to my house then? I guess so. Okay, everyone. Uh-oh, that was... Ah! What's happening? The script is trying to end the day on us because the club meeting is over. We can stop it. Help me out here. Kenshiro. Ow! Maybe we shouldn't do this. What if we just let the script skip to tomorrow? That's not how it works. It doesn't actually skip time for us. Oh, right. And there's no telling what else it might adjust on realizing Linda and Renier are here. Hold on. I think I got this. Oh, God. And the game crashed. Okay. Oh, that scared me for a minute. I thought there was, like, new secrets out I didn't see before. No, they're just new text documents that we made when we were creating the file. You know, I wonder, did this have any effect on the crash? Or, like, if I didn't put it, would it have not happened? Or was that just destined to happen? Alright. Well, back to return to the portrait. Hi, everyone. It's Editing Mark here. And I know me during recording, I just said that it's time to that we'd be rebooting up the game again. But it seems like I recorded a bit too much footage for one video, and it's not like there's some kind of YouTube restriction that'll stop me or anything, but it's just that I have over 2 hours of footage, and honestly, I know you guys don't want to watch 2-hour videos, so I've decided to split this one in half, just so you can have an hour of one and an hour of another, so you don't feel obligated to watch the whole thing. because I know hell that an hour and 30 minutes is already pretty intimidating. So I decided that this is a good place to leave it off. But don't worry, most likely I'm gonna upload both videos at the same time so that you could just get to watching immediately once you're done with this one. So yeah, back-to-back videos in one day instead of one gigantic video. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but this is probably the better way to do it because I don't want it to take like 5 hours to render in DaVinci Resolve or like 16 hours to upload to YouTube. Yeah, you get the point. So yeah, sorry I had to cut the video a bit early, but if you're hearing this, the second video is probably up by now, so you can go watch it. So guys, I guess I'll see you then. Alright, have a good one.